All right, here we are for review on this case and a prelim as it relates to, well, no, I'm sorry, second regular review for mom and the first review for father. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Carson Howard, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Natasha Thomas, counsel for the department.
Del Garza, the foster care worker.
Michael McFarland, representing father. I do not see him joining us by jail where he is lodged.
Yes, the jail is logged in. My assistant's going to call over right now to see if we can't secure his presence. Ms. Berger?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ariel Berger here on behalf of Mother Caitlin Estes. Caitlin, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Caitlin Estes, no.
Thank you. All right. Well, Mr. Hamlin has the opportunity but not the obligation to participate in our review hearings. We'll do our best to secure his presence or check to see if he is voluntarily absent or involuntarily absent. But in the meantime, we do have a docket to keep. So let's start with Mr. Howard.
I was able to meet with the child and his placement in my office on February 19th. I observed him meeting multiple developmental milestones, such as looking for partially hidden objects and bringing objects to his mouth. He spends most of his time crawling. He's very mobile, but I guess it's not totally crawling. His placement referred to it as scooting. I had a conversation with this placement who are extremely bonded to the child. This is the only home that the child's ever been in. He's been there since birth, and they have multiple other children in the home who love to have him around and bonded with him as well. Due to the child's age, he did not articulate his wishes. I believe that this placement is in his best interest, and I do have some concerns over the contents of the court report, specifically surrounding domestic violence and how to move forward with that.
Okay, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Del Garza at this time.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Del Garza, you provided a court report for today's hearing, and the cover page indicates that in addition to the court report, there are case service plans, a denial letter from the Cherokee Nation, forensic fluid drug screen results, photos of PPO. There's the DNA results, which I believe we're all aware of. There's an Orchard's termination report from mom, list of their email threads with dad's therapist, MSU extension certificates for parenting classes for mom, the MyCourt register of action, so to speak, criminal charges for dad, a psychological evaluation for mom, and then screenshots of contact or communication between the parents. And are there any other documents that you've provided to any of the parties other than the ones that I've listed?
No.
And to the best of your knowledge, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to any of those documents?
No.
As it relates to this case, at this time, does the child still remain outside of each parent's care and custody?
Yes.
And is that in a licensed foster home?
Yes.
Were there any additional efforts to locate relatives during this review period?
Mom did name 2 relatives, not the previous report period, but the one before that, I believe. And we were able to complete both of the initial placement safety screenings, but both of the parties were denied by the agency.
I'm going to interrupt for just a second. So we had Mr. Hamlin appear to us by Zoom, and then, so he was in the jail Zoom room, and then all of a sudden the camera.
Yeah, I'm here, Judge.
Okay. Your name for the record, please?
Dakota Hamlin.
All right. Are you able to allow the video feed to come through?
Yeah, let me see here.
There we are. Thank you. Very good. If you could leave that on, please, so we know that you can hear and see everything that's going on. Thanks.
Alrighty.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, at this time, do you believe that there is still a substantial risk of harm to the child if the child were to be placed with either parent today?
Yes, I did.
Can you briefly highlight what that risk of harm is?
The housing is still an issue, criminality with Mr. Hamlin, excuse me. And substance abuse concerns still with Mr. Hamlin, and also the domestic violence is a big portion of that.
And during this review period, what efforts were made by the agency to address any barriers to reunification at this time?
We continue doing supervised parenting time. I did offer with Mr. Hamlin to do a parental home visit, which he declined numerous times. And we also were able to receive the psychological recommendations and continue doing drug screenings.
And the orchards program was, that also took place during this review period, correct?
Yes.
And at this time, given the, well, let me just ask a different question first. So during this review period, how would you describe the parents' level of compliance with and benefit from their case service plans, and especially considering the efforts put forth by the agency?
I would say Mr. Hamlin's were very minimal, if any at all. Miss Estes did complete the orchards program. She's been doing screens, she's been attending parenting times. And she is doing therapy regarding domestic violence through Family Medical Center and also through Catherine Cobb. However, the domestic violence still is very concerning.
There's, I mean, your report sort of highlights this, but can you articulate the events that have taken place during this review period that make you concerned about domestic violence in this case?
Yes, so after the hearing that we had in December, where Ms. Estes had stated that she wanted nothing to do with Mr. Hamlin and she was not having contact with him and things like that, I did receive screenshots of proof that they had been together very recently, before the court hearing actually. And also during this report period, Ms. Estes did take out a second or a different PPO against Mr. Hamlin that stated they were not allowed to text or see each other or anything. But it came to my attention that they were having contact and have been having contact, and that they had face-to-face contact with, which actually led to an incident, a domestic violence incident occurring, which is why Mr. Hamlin is currently incarcerated.
To the best of your knowledge, though, was that PPO active at the time of the incident in which Mr. Hamlin got incarcerated for?
I do not believe so. He was arrested on February 4th, and Ms. Estes petitioned the court to drop the PPO on January 30th.
Have either the parents been open with you about the relationship and their intentions, or what knowledge do you have about their dynamics? I guess, is it coming from them, or how are you finding information out?
So Mr. Hamlin did give me some of the information following the last court hearing. I've also gotten information from Mr. Hamlin's mother of screenshots that were provided to me, and stating that he is incarcerated and what had happened. And Ms. Estes has not been very forthcoming. I believe during the before the past hearing that we had, she would call me and give me updated information. And she continues to give me updated information about services. However, I did give her an opportunity to explain to me what happened on February 4th when Mr. Hamlin got arrested. But she at first denied it, and then when I was asking more questions, she did say that they had met face to face, something to do with having a storage unit together, but under his name.
To the best of your knowledge, what actually happened?
I'm still waiting for the official police report, but to the best of my knowledge, they met up face to face. Ms. Estes stated she was trying to get, I'm not sure if it was the keys for the storage unit or just get her things out of the storage unit. Which led to him stating that he was going to kill Miss Estes and then commit suicide himself, and then ended up choking her in the mix of that.
Do you have any idea what time of day this all happened?
I don't know what time the incident was exactly, but I believe he was arrested around 3 or 4 a.m.
And to the best of your knowledge, has there been any contact between them since he's been arrested?
The jail officers did tell me that her phone number is accepting collect calls from him while he's been in jail. Although there's no contact order currently.
And during this review period, what has parenting time looked like for the parents?
So both parents are offered 2 times a week visitation for 2 hours each. Miss Estes has attended all but 4, and 2 of those were actually excused, and so they were made up at a later date. Mr. Hamlin, he's attended 2 out of 22 visits that have been scheduled this report period, and those were back in December.
Are there any concerns about parenting time with Miss Estes?
I would say that she does well during parenting time. She's attentive to the child. The only concern I guess I would have is when the child becomes upset or is crying. Staff a couple times have had to step in and give suggestions about maybe things that she could try. And during one of the parenting times in January, because he was crying so hard, one of the supervisors asked if she wanted to take him to urgent care to see if there was something else going on. And so they did that. However, the doctors did not find anything.
And at this time, do you believe that there's sufficient progress or safeguards in place that you could comfortably recommend moving towards expanding parenting time or unsupervised parenting time for either parent?
I don't think so. I mean, at this time, Mr. Hamlin, like I said, has missed many visits. And Ms. Estes, although she is making progress in her case services, there is the significant concern still of domestic violence.
And generally, can you just provide an update on how the child is doing right now?
Yeah, he is almost 6 months. He's doing very well in the home. During my monthly home visits that I do, he's always very happy, learning new things every time I go out there. And is just progressing in all aspects.
Do you believe that the parents have made significant progress towards the goal of reunification during this review period?
I do not at this time, no.
Your Honor, I'm not sure, I know at the beginning stated it's our second review. Is this permanency planning hearing as well?
I know it's Mr. Hamlin's first review and Ms. Estes' second. So I can clarify that for you. It is set, yes, as a permanency planning hearing as well.
Given you just testified that there has not been sufficient progress to continue towards the goal of reunification, are you asking the court to reconsider the goal of reunification for these parents at this time?
Yes, we're asking that it be changed to adoption.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know for today?
No.
With that, Your Honor, I am asking the court to accept the court report with the attachments.
No objection.
No objections.
No objection.
All right, thank you. They are received. Questions for this witness, Ms. Berger?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. De La Garza, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
There are several things in the court report that look to be positives for Ms. Estes. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you talk to the court about those, please?
Yes, she, like I said, is participating in therapy through Catherine Cobb and also through the Family Medical Center. She continues taking her prescribed medications and attending the medication reviews. She's attended her psychological evaluation. She's been negative for all substances for all of the screens that she's taken since the beginning of this case. And although she's still living at the shelter, but she is on the waiting list for a couple different places in town.
So right now, what's your biggest concern with mom?
The domestic violence.
Okay. And can you articulate to the court specifically how she is doing something to contribute to that?
I'm just concerned that she continues having contact with him. Although she's stated on record and stated to me that she knows that's not in her best interest, and she knows that there are things that Mr. Hamlin needs to work on, and doesn't want a relationship with him. However, continues having contact with him and putting herself in situations that lead to the incident that happened in the beginning of this month.
Is she ever charged when the domestic incidences get brought up?
Is she what? I'm sorry.
She ever charged criminally?
Not during our case, I don't think so.
Okay. And do you think that she's a perpetrator of domestic violence?
I don't believe she's a perpetrator, but her continuing contact is very concerning.
So because she is continued to be victimized by Mr. Hamlin, you want to terminate her rights to her child?
Because I believe that she's also playing a part in the domestic violence and what's going on, and she continues to minimize things that happen also.
Okay, but you said that you don't think that she's a perpetrator, so what part is she playing other than a survivor?
She just, the continued contact.
Okay. No further questions, thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
What services on the case service plan will you be offering my client now that he's in jail?
I did ask him if he's getting any services while he's in jail. He is seeing a psychiatrist for prescribed medications. But while he is in jail, I'm not sure there's much more besides me having contact with him and, seeing if there's anything that he needs and making sure he's staying up to date on the case and things like that.
You're not disagreeing with the legal concept, the innocence until proven guilty, correct?
Correct.
And You didn't personally view any of these
No,
incidents. My understanding is that jail will now allow visitation with children by Zoom. Are you aware of that?
yes, I am.
What type of arrangements will you be making with my client if he wishes to avail himself of visits?
I would leave that up to the court to see if they believe it's in the child's best interest. I don't, just because of the age of the child. I'm not sure how much you could engage with Mr. Hamlin.
Child's how old right now?
He's what? I'm sorry,
How old is the child?
almost 6 months.
Seeing a father's face or anything like that, you don't think that'd be significant? Any benefit to that?
I don't believe so at this time, since he's not seen him in months.
Okay. If my client wishes to engage, is my presumption correct that he should first contact you upon his release from jail?
Yes,
Has he discussed voluntarily releasing his rights with you?
no, he is not.
Nothing further.
Mr. Howe?
Yes, other than the domestic violence issues that you've touched on, do you have any other major concerns regarding mom's progress through the case service plan?
No, I do think she's doing well, just the concern that when the child does get upset during visits, that she's not able to calm him down.
Does mom have adequate safe housing at this moment?
She's residing at the shelter, so yes.
Any redirect?
Ms. Garza, you mentioned or you clarified that you don't believe that Ms. Estes is a perpetrator of domestic violence. What did you mean by that?
Just that she has not been charged with anything yet, although she is minimizing and continues to have contact, like I stated.
Do you believe that she's an active participant in perpetuating the cycle of domestic violence?
Yes, I do.
And do you believe that that is based on her actions of continuously engaging with Mr. Hamlin
Yes,
and dropping a PPO?
correct.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any recross? Okay,
No.
No, Your Honor.
thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. Next witness.
I have no other witnesses, Your Honor.
Witness testimony today, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
Let me ask a couple questions of my client. You might be sworn in.
Deputy Ames, you can swear in Mr. Tony Hamlin. Thank you.
Mr. Hamlin, can you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Can you unmute, please, before you answer, sir?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir, do you know how long you might be incarcerated?
I am hoping to get out this week, bonded out this week.
And do you wish to engage in services or to do a voluntary release, or given some thought as far as where you wish to go on this case?
That's something I think that I would have to maybe talk over with you in private, maybe.
Sure. And when you're out, you can schedule an appointment with my office if you wish to do so, okay?
Sure.
And did you hear the worker testify that if you wish to engage upon release, the first thing you should do is make an appointment with her if you wish to engage in services and get back on board?
Yes, I heard that.
Anything else you wish to contribute today?
No.
We'll see if anybody else has questions.
Any questions?
Mr. Hamlin, just for clarity, were there any barriers that prevented you from engaging in therapy on a regular basis when you were not in jail?
I mean, yeah, when my car broke down, that was kind of a big barrier, being out at my mom's.
Okay.
I don't really have a lot of transportation from out there.
And prior to your incarceration, were you still working?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, any other questions, Mr. Howitt?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right,
No
Any
further
other-
witnesses?
okay. Mr. Howard, anyone you'd like us to hear from?
No, Your Honor.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was reviewing the notes that I've taken for this case, and obviously we had a long history with this family, dating back several years. And when this new kiddo was born, we had a preliminary hearing in which this court had discussed at length with the parents, especially in this court's findings, that there was ample time for Ms. Estes to demonstrate to the court how she was going to avoid the patterns of domestic violence. And that her failure to do so is what formulated the risk of harm and formed the basis for the violation of the statute, allowing the court to take jurisdiction. Because of the prior terminations, this was actually a termination initial disposition. However, we allowed her to engage in a case service plan in exchange for the plea, and that with that understanding, you would be looking at permanency at the first regular review. Which brings us to December, which we were lied to. We have the text messages now showing that they were in communication at that time. And then again, we have another review period in which domestic violence is still an issue. The idea that Ms. Estes is simply a victim is inaccurate. And this was discussed at length by Ms. Heiss, the former LGAL, during the preliminary hearing, that allowing her to see herself as solely a survivor was very close to enabling her and not addressing the patterns that actually continue to perpetuate the cycle of domestic violence with these parents, which is long-term and pervasive. Given that that is one of the main issues that brought this family under this court's jurisdiction numerous times, it is still not resolved. It is appropriate at this time for this court, we believe, to change the goal to adoption, especially considering again that as relates to Ms. Estes, this was technically an aggravating circumstance case. With that, Your Honor, we are also asking the court to set this for a termination hearing in which we would anticipate having a petition filed and served at the in time to have that termination hearing with the next review and permanency planning hearing. These parents have a lot of work ahead of them. I don't think that Ms. Estes, her problem has ever been compliance to the case service plan. It's always been the benefit from the same. And we're seeing that pattern again. And it's really unfortunate because there were several years and so many resources invested into this family, and these parents are just not able to break the cycle. We are asking at this time for parenting time as relates to Mr. Hamlin be suspended. He was not exercising it before his incarceration. And given his current incarceration and lack of engagement in services, I think that's significant. And this child would be at risk for some psychological harm and essentially being introduced to someone that child has not seen in nearly, well, consistently at least for half of his life at this point in time. We're asking the court to continue the supervised parenting time for mom. Again, I don't think that this is just on the domestic violence, but also the testimony that there's some struggles with consoling and comforting and understanding this child's needs during parenting time. And I would ask the court to limit that to the policy standards rather than any extended period of parenting time that we might otherwise offer. Thank you.
Comments, Ms. Berger?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, we are asking for another standard review period and that a petition for termination not be filed. My client is substantially in compliance with the case plan service or the case service plan. However, the concerns of the agency are not falling on deaf ears, so to speak. She's aware that this has been a major concern for the agency. And unfortunately, I think it's come to this most recent domestic violence incident for her to realize that potentially she could be killed and that she is no longer able to continue with any sort of relationship or contact with Mr. Hamlin. At this time, Judge, she is asking for more time to continue to work on that, to continue through therapy, and to show the court that although her ability to stay away from Mr. Hamlin and to not be putting herself in situations where she can potentially be a victim of domestic violence, to show the court that she's able to do that, and to express that although she is a survivor of domestic violence, that's not all she is. That she also is trying her best to be a mother to this child, and to her other children, if that's ever possible again. So, Judge, at this time, we are asking for another review period, and for some more time for her to continue with the therapies that are working, with her medication reviews. Her substance use has been incredible. You know, her sobriety has been great during this case. So, at this time, Judge, we would just ask for another review period. If you do authorize the filing of the petition, we would ask that she continue to have parenting time. The court report is pretty clear that she's fairly bonded with this child, that it is an extenuating circumstance that should require her to be able to continue to see him while this case progresses. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Your Honor, the first thing that I'm taking a look at is I do see a letter from one of the Cherokee tribes indicating no affiliation. But when you mentioned Cherokee, there are multiple tribes, and I've gone through all my documents. I don't see green cards from the other Cherokee tribes, Your Honor. And I'm curious if they were sent or will be signed by the agent necessary to accomplish that properly. So I think we're still possibly looking at active efforts for reunification until we get an answer on that. We don't have an expert that weighed in today, just dicta that it might be possibly harmful to this child to have contact with his father. I don't know if the goal is still reunification, and this is my client's first review. You're basically saying, we don't want you to be the father. Him having contact with this child, at the very least, would be no more harmful than a child watching television or seeing the face of a babysitter or somebody like that, if the child doesn't recognize him. But if he is going for continued bond, then facial recognition is important at this age. Recognition of the voice is important, and it also helps when he is released from jail to engage in the parenting time if he wishes to do so. So if he wishes to engage, I would like the court to permit that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Howell?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm in full support of the agency's proposal that meets the permanency planning goal. You know, I think it's due to the child's age. He's 6 months old. He's only known this home. He's only been around this placement. But most importantly is the issues of domestic violence are still persisting. I think this last review period has just been a microcosm for those issues where they were adamant that there was no contact between them. The PPO was removed, and we're right back to where we started essentially. I think the long-lasting effects that domestic violence being witnessed by a child between their parents is very well stated, and is definitely, on my mind as I make this recommendation. I worry that the young child may eventually be exposed to that, and that's something that we definitely want to avoid for the trauma that could cause. I also support the suspension of parenting time. Dad has been sporadic at best. He's not engaging in the parenting time. Wish that the parenting time of mom continues to be supervised at the department. Thank you.
Thank you. On the Native American heritage issue, looks like there were 4 inquiries sent. We got copies of the inquiries and evidence they were sent certified mail to the Eastern Band, the Blackfeet Tribe, Cherokee Nation, and the Kiowa Band. There was a denial letter from the Kiowa Band and the Eastern Band, and today the court received a denial letter from the Cherokee Nation. Looks like there may be one outstanding tribe, Ms. Thomas, that we've got to hear from. The court had also previously indicated that it would be satisfied with production of prior ICWA research, considering that these two parents have had prior cases in the court. How would you like to approach that issue?
Your Honor, I believe that per policy that ICWA inquiries have to be submitted each CPS contact. And so because this is a new one, I think that we just need to follow up with the inquiries that were sent. If we're just missing that one inquiry, I believe that we can find the designated agent for the tribe and send an email to follow up and hopefully have that information by the next hearing.
Right, do you believe you'll be prepared to proceed on your request also for a petition for termination?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, as it relates to today's hearing, there's supposed to be second regular review as it relates to mom. On the first regular review as it relates to Mr. Hamlin. Mr. Hamlin has not engaged in services. He's missed 20 out of 22 parenting times. He's neglected to build any sort of bond with his child, and I see no reason to grant an already absent parent who's completely disengaged with services parenting time. The court does have the discretion to suspend parenting time of an absent parent. And that given, also coupled with a request by the department to issue a change in the permanency goal and a request to move forward on that petition for adoption, which I will be granting. I am suspending parenting time for Dakota Hamlin. Ms. Estes is making some progress in a significant area, which is her sobriety. Nevertheless, the dishonesty that we've seen actively from the outset of the case around her relationship and contacts with Mr. Hamlin are significantly concerning to this court, especially considering how that last interaction went and the fact that she's still receiving phone calls from the jail despite a no contact provision, and her own attempts to reassure the court caseworker and other supporters that she's attempting to remedy that risk to herself, which would clearly pose a significant risk of harm to any child placed in her home. Unfortunately, I can't take her success in some areas and offset that significant risk, especially in a case such as this, where we are already looking at a shortened term, identified issues that are clearly continuing to be pervasive. Ms. Estes still does not have adequate housing, employment, or transportation. She's got some other challenges that are still really preventing, practically speaking, her from being able to take care of her child, in addition to the very physical risk associated with allowing her to have a child in her presence, understanding that her sobriety is in its infancy and she has clearly no regard for her own safety or the safety of others that may be in the vicinity during some of these instances that she's chosen to interact with Mr. Hamlin. So I can't disagree, unfortunately, with the department or our guardian ad litem that at this time, change of the goal, in this case to adoption, is necessary and appropriate. This is a very young child.
So can I
He
just
doesn't
release
need
my
to
rights?
be-
I'm sorry. I just want to sign over my rights.
All right, that can be prepared, I'm sure, between now and our next review hearing. Ms. Estes will let the department and the caseworker look at that at your request. The child will remain in foster care placement at this time in light of all of the challenges that continue to exist in this case, preventing reunification. His placement is currently the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances. We're looking at a review hearing coupled with a request on a termination petition if it's timely filed and served for May 19th at 2:30. We'll give that 2 hours to entertain that petition if it's, again, finally timely filed and served. The concerns of the court are echoed in the court exhibits that were received, as well as the testimony today. They firmly support the court's decision today, and we'll have the review permanency planning hearing as necessary, and that hearing on termination request at our next juncture. Unless there's any questions, I believe that's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.